Okay, good evening, residents, voters and fellow Singaporeans. Thank you for coming to the Workers' Party rally tonight. Thank you for taking the time to come to show your support for the Workers' Party. I joined the Workers' Party in 2006 as I believe the alternative voices must be heard in Parliament, because no one party, including the PAP, can claim to have monopoly on solutions and ideas. I believe that it is in the long-term interest of Singaporeans to have a government policy scrutinized critically so that common people on the ground will not be suffer from any possible policy decision that usually the ruling party elites make. Ladies and gentlemen, in the recent years, we have experienced the high cost of living in daily necessities, transport, housing, overcrowded public places, and economic justice, where the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. The PAP wants to believe that they can present your interests in Parliament because they are at heart of people and they are in no grouping in their party. However, we are facing high living costs and eating away at our salaries and need to squeeze into sardine-packed MRTs and travel on clogged roads with ERP gantries are supposed to ease the traffic congestions. These problems are not new and been affecting our lives for a few years now. This election let us ourselves ask if PAP elites can truly understand the hardship of average working person. How many of them have to worry about paying their electricity bills or have to sell their homes to fund for their children's overseas education or pay their expenses for medical bills? The health minister was reported to have just paid $8 for a heart bypass surgery, but it is not known how much government subsidies he enjoys in a civil servant and how much additional premiums he had to pay for his private shield insurance for the kind of low out-of-pocket expenses. Okay. Chances that you and I will not be able to afford this kind of insurance with average salaries and will not exhaust our Medisave accounts or maybe sell our homes to pay for what Medishield will not cover. Singapore has become such an expensive place for our old folks to get a long-term medical care that we are being told that we cannot put them in nursing homes in Johor instead. If we find costs here too high, should this be how our senior citizens who contribute to growth of this country in their prime years be treated? Where is the compassion and moral values in our policies? Singapore has been run like a company and not a country. What we have here today is a first world cause, unlike our ministers who have been there first world class salaries. Our salaries have not kept up with many of the price increases. It is unacceptable for the highest paid government in the world to simply blame global and market forces for price increases and have small token sums, rebates and vouchers to us while taking up to 8 months super bonus. With the kind of super pay We must accept super results from them. Ladies and gentlemen, the PAP government policies have failed to collaborate supply of housing units with the demand for housing units from the increased immigrant flow. This is simple economics. The government has admitted the increase of immigration in 2007 and 2008 catch them by surprise, and they did not increase the supply of housing units. It is very interesting to note that HDB suddenly woke up when the elections are coming to launch several BTOs and DBS projects to help the newlywed couples apply for their flats, since many of them are not able to afford ridiculous high HDB resale prices. Is this the kind of knee-jerk policies that you accept from such a highly paid government? Do you want to accept the short-sighted policies for yourself and your families? The result of lack of planning and higher than 1997 peak housing prices that have not come down much despite a few rounds of cooling measures. Today, the so-called assets enhancement 5-room HDB flats are about 400,000. What will it be tomorrow when more foreigners come into Singapore? Will our children be able to afford a HDB flat if the prices are going up? Most of us now pay a HDB flat over 25 to 30 years. Will our children have to pay for their half flats 30 to 40 years of their lives? PAP will say that it is still affordable and give out some pathetic grants. Do we want to continue with the sorry situation of having 2 opposition MPs in a parliament in a sea of 82 MPs? There is an urgent need to bring the greater balance of power into parliament so that the government can be held account for any bad policies that it wants to implement. The PAP has admitted that it has difficulty finding talents in the private sector. So by having more opposition MPs, the PAP will benefit from the diverse views, ideas and solutions of our private sector candidates. Do you want to continue with only one party deciding our lives? Remember that the PAP government can choose to ignore concerns because they have 82 seats in parliament of 84. They want you to believe that MPs can do all the talking and debates. But what is the point of having all this in parliament, when in the end they all have to fall in line and vote to their party's whip and not your interest? So think carefully. If you want to have your vote for PAP to do what they want, once this election is over, you will have to live with your vote for another 5 years. Do not buy into PAP's programs of having opposition 9 NCMP seats. This token measure sounds good to the ears, but it is hollow. The truth is the PAP does not have to pay any attention to the NCMPs, as they do not represent any constituencies or electoral rate. and do not have a full voting rights. What we need is a strong mandate from you towards a first world parliament, where elected opposition MPs can keep the government on its toes. The government will then have to think twice about implementing harsh and knee-jerk reaction policies that may go against the interests of the people. Anyone who tries to convince you otherwise does not have the long-term interest of you or the nation. We are now at an important stage of the country's development. No political party is in favor, not even the PAP. As a reasonable citizen, we must all play our role to ensure that we have a good contingency plan for the good of our nation, our family, and our children. Today I am asking you to think long term, to look beyond our budget goodies, to put in place a good system of governance. Move opposition members into parliament, and they can participate and gain in the governance of the country. We must put insurance plans in place now, so that a strong party will be ready to take over should the PAP's future master plans fail one day. Even the PAP started out as an opposition party, and together with the hard working of Singaporeans people, the nation got to where it is today. Remember the hammer on the polling day. Vote for Workers' Party, and let's move on towards a first world parliament. Thank you. Okay, I'll just speak a few words in Tamil. Okay. இந்த வருட எலெக்ஷனுக்கு சிங்கப்பூர் மக்களை நம்ம ஓட் போடும்போதே நம்ம கொஞ்சம் யோசிச்சு நம்ம எதிர்காலத்தை பார்த்து ஓட் போடுங்க. பிகாஸ் இப்ப நீங்க ஓட் போடுறது நம்ம வருங்காலம் இன்னும் 5 வருஷத்துக்கு நம்மளை பாதிக்கும். ஸோ நம்ம வீட்டு விலை, டிரான்ஸ்போர்ட் விலை, இதெல்லாம் கூடிக்கிட்டே போகுது. ஸோ அதனால நீங்க ஓட் போட அன்னைக்கு நீங்க எந்த பார்ட்டிக்கு உங்க ஃபியூச்சரை கையில கொடுக்குறீங்கன்னு நினைச்சிட்டு நீங்க போடுங்க. ரொம்ப நன்றி. தேங்க்யூ.